It's Friday night, September 5th, the year of our Lord 2025. You are locked into Doing Lines with the Let's Not Do This podcast. You got the big O, Leon Oliver, sitting alongside Scotty Too Hottie. Isn't there a third person on this show?
I've heard rumors of a third person. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just you talking in third person.
Oh, well, I do like to do that. Chris Green's supposed to be here with us, but apparently the senior center closes at 8. I guess he had his Matlock watching, and I don't think he saw a single snap of this Chiefs-Chargers game from Brazil, nor do I think he knows where to locate Brazil on a map. So he'll be delighted to watch the show tomorrow morning, the replay. But yeah, he is in absentia, so we'll have to press on without him.
I think he might be hiding because he hasn't won a bet this week.
Yeah,
quite
rough for him so far. But we're here, and I can't finish the rest of that sentence. I was going to rhyme. But yes, we're here, and we just watched a scintillating Friday night, I guess, football game on YouTube. Which, by the way, Scotty, before we even get into the breakdown of this Chargers win over the Chiefs in Sao Paulo, hats off to YouTube. Congratulations. Give yourselves a pound of that there, guys. I don't know about you. Everything on my end was great. No buffering,
yeah, it was great.
No glitching. The only thing that screwed up was the one time on the deep ball by Kansas City, the camera guy, I guess, got too excited and panned out the shot. But that was it. The broadcast was phenomenal.
And the very first play, they were like zoomed out. But other than that,
yeah.
What's going on the TV? Commercial. My remote by me.
Well, you got that TV.
You must have your TV on too, because both of our screens are kind of flashing.
Oh yeah. It's the strobe lights going on in here. Our TCL TVs. I'll drink bleach before I buy a TCL. But anywho,
other than the some of the YouTube personalities that were pushing on us was kind of annoying, but whatever. I mean, that's what you're going to get. But yeah, I liked it.
Justin,
there's something else I was going to say.
Justin Herbert going out and showing out, opening a game for Charger quarterback. We saw the stat late in the game. What was it? Only 3 times. Charger history has a quarterback thrown for 300 yards and 3 TDs in the opening week. And it was like Dan Fouts in 81. Phillip Rivers did it twice. And now Justin Herbert this evening going 25 of 34 for 318 and 3 touchdowns through the air. Scotty, we picked this game on the Let's Not Do This podcast on Wednesday night when we did it. And I know one of the things you talked about was, the Chargers. I think everyone talked about the Chargers running the ball and Amari and Hampton and everything. Did it surprise you? Because it certainly did surprise me that San Diego came out gunslinging early on.
Yeah, but I guess it really shouldn't because
San Diego, I mean LA.
That Chiefs, yeah. But that Chiefs run that defensive line is really good. So I get it. It does kind of suck that we're going to be cursed in our fantasy league. I thought it was going to be a heavy dose of Amari and Hampton, but it was not. And also, I'm one of 10 people in the United States that went against somebody that played Javonte Williams in fantasy this week. So yeah, not off to a good start. Yeah, but that's just how it goes in our fantasy league.
Chargers come.
Yeah, a little surprising.
Definitely come out throwing there. I mean, and here's the thing, Justin Herbert's not a dime store quarterback or anything like that. I mean, he is a guy that you can put the ball in his hands, let him step back there and let him throw. And I think it just adds another dimension. I keep saying San Diego, maybe because they were kind of Air Coryell early on in this game. Yeah, well, they do need to go back. They'll always be the San Diego Superchargers in my heart. But yeah, I mean, LA coming out, throwing it around. I think they really caught Kansas City sleeping a little bit. And I don't know about you, but when I'm sitting there and I'm watching, a lot of those balls were wide open. It was like they were sitting in like a soft zone, and they were just picking them apart. And took them way too long to adjust to that. It really befuddled me. And then for Kansas City, on the other side, you see Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, we know he's got the wheels, but Patrick Mahomes, you are not Cam Newton. You don't need to take these blows and deliver hits to people. Which, by the way, he is going to get himself hurt before this year's over. This whole I'm going to run and then check up before I go out of bounds and then drop my shoulder to steamroll the defender. Someone's going to play chicken with you, and you're going to lose eventually.
Yeah.
You can't take that kind of punishment.
Well, you saw the sideline play where he, like you were talking about, where he was running out of bounds and all of a sudden turned up a field and trucked the dude. You saw another defender come in and kind of push him after. Like somebody's gonna blow him up on the sideline at some point. I remember RG3 did. I think he was the first one I remember doing that. Like running back when his 1 year when he was good. He was running towards the sideline, and all of a sudden he cut up field and got like an extra 8 to 10 yards. Everybody was pissed off. I mean, I get it. You touch them and it's a foul, but they can kind of manipulate you. But yeah, that would be an issue at some point. But yeah, weird night betting, and I mean, for podcast picks, I'm actually kind of on a little bit of a fire streak right now. On the podcast too, but I had both of my prop bets and a couple of the odds boosts that were out there on the game. But yeah, for the podcast, I went 1-1 tonight, which is what I should have been. But I thought I was dead on the Louisville game, and I thought the under in the NFL game was a lock, and they kind of flipped right at the end there because Chargers just decided to not guard a couple people. Travis Kelce on that touchdown and Hollywood Brown on that game. Yeah. But yeah, it worked out like it was supposed to. 1-1, so I can't be mad at that. I think I'm 11-5 on the year so far for the podcast.
Travis Kelce killing a parlay that I had earlier, thanks to him taking out Xavier Worthy early on in the game.
Going back to our fantasy league, guess who has Xavier Worthy?
Bad luck for you all around here.
I'm making money, so whatever.
These are, but it's hurting you emotionally, and that is what I like to see: the pain, the despair, the distraught. In fact, I hope that Chris, even though A, he's missing the podcast, which he should be here. B, I hope he's having very bad dreams right now. I want like Freddy Krueger in his dreams. I want Frank Beamer in his dreams. That's probably what haunts him. All those losses to Virginia Tech. So yeah, I want him to have that, and then I want you to have fantasy losses in crushing manner. And also, speaking of losses, you mentioned the under this evening, and then yesterday in the Dallas-Philadelphia game, of course, you were on the over on that one. We see both teams score on the first 8 drives of the game yesterday, and then the last 8 drives of the game ended with no points. Only time in NFL history. It was the only NFL game in the last 30 years with the 8 consecutive scoring drives to begin the game and 8 consecutive non-scoring drives to in the game. So yeah, that's I don't know if I can read right, but yeah.
Yeah, I was so close to betting the over, but I switched to Dallas plus 8.5.
Yeah. So let me ask you.
Worked out.
Let me ask you this: going back to this game this evening, what do you take away from this? Is this a changing of the guard in the AFC West, or is this just, hey, it's week 1, it's they lost the big piece in Xavier Worthy that they probably had in their offensive game plan, and they're in a foreign country. It's just, hey, it's 1 week, or is this a changing of the guard, so to speak, and the AFC should be on notice now?
I don't know if you can call it a changing of the guard. Friday night, week 1, but 2. And they're not going to give up those huge plays. Like more often than not, they're not going to give up them 2 huge plays that got Kansas City back in the game. But yeah, I think the fact that Worthy's, we don't know how long he's going to be out. We thought that they were going to have their receiving core, and now Rashee Rice got suspended for 6 games. Questionable, but he was out there. He played decent. I don't know. I think if you're a Chargers fan, you definitely feel good about yourself in the future and possibly winning that division. Obviously, we're doing overreactions for week 1. The Chiefs are their Super Bowl window's done, and the Chargers are the new Chiefs. You can't panic yet, but there is some cause for concern. But you can't do week 1. You can't make any long-term proclamations. That's not the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm trying to say. It's just week one. Like if you win 80-0, it doesn't really mean anything. You can be optimistic, but see if you can do it 2 weeks in a row. See what the Chiefs look like next week. I don't know who they play, but see if they bounce back. But I mean, again, as bad as they played, and it goes back to last year, we said that they weren't the Chiefs and they got to the Super Bowl. But then you look at tonight, and they had a chance to go down the field and get back in the. I mean, they got back in the game. They get a stop. You know, who knows? Mahomes might drive down the field and score, win the game. So they were right there. So yeah, long season. We'll
Here's the thing about Kansas City losing this game, though. You lose this game in Brazil. Now you have to come back, and you're at home, and you're taking on the Eagles. And yeah, rematch of the Super Bowl. We know, Philadelphia didn't exactly set the world on fire. Kept Dallas in that game. They got some issues, especially on the defensive side of the ball, to clear some things up there. But you face the possibility that team could start 0-2. And we know all the stats. I don't have them in front of me about 0-2 teams making the playoffs. And of course, that was from a 16-game regular season and not a 17-game regular season. But just something to keep in the back of the mind there. They could find themselves in some very unfamiliar territory early on there and start, have to come from behind. But certainly an encouraging win. You don't want to make too much of it, but an encouraging win if you're an LA fan. And the Chargers next week go to Vegas to take on the Raiders there, and we'll see what the Raiders do in their season opener on Sunday. So encouraging signs there, but that puts a bow on the portion looking back at the game from this evening. Let's get into some of these games coming up tomorrow and on Sunday. And for that, we go to our betting picks brought to you by Absolutely No. All right. These picks brought to you by Absolutely No One. We'll start off with college football. Chris is not here, so we'll hold off on his. We'll have to just post his on social media tomorrow. Or we just, just like in school, he'll just get a 0. That's pretty much what he's used to. Just give him a 0.
Well, yeah, it was the first year we did this. He missed quite a few weeks. So
yeah. He'll just get a 0. But, we just gave him like a non-participant kind of thing. No, we're just going to give him like losses this week. You miss a show, you just get losses now.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, that's how it should be. So, Chris, you're facing down 0-3 in college, which would have been anyway, and 0-3 in the NFL this week. But let's start off college football here. You know what? I made the graphic for it, Scotty. Let's go ahead and use it. Let's go ahead and just start off with the big game this week. ESPN college game. They are there. Saturday, Norman, Oklahoma. Michigan at Oklahoma. 2 big names, college football. Bryce Underwood, the freshman. What is he, the $12 million man or whatever he is? On the road, getting the start. Imagine an environment making your first start, true freshman, your first road start. True freshman on the road in Norman, taking on the Sooners. And yeah, they ain't the same Oklahoma team as 10, 15 years ago. It's still on the road at Oklahoma. It's a true freshman. What an environment to go into if you're Bryce Underwood taking on John Mateer and the Sooners. Oklahoma laying 4.5 over under 44.5 right now on ESPN Bet. Scotty, I'll start with your thoughts here.
All right. Before, I'm just doing a little search on Twitter here. I don't know if this guy commenting is Philly Mike OG. I don't know if he's trolling us or if he got some bad information versus NFL soft.
What is that? I didn't see
how they suspend Jalen Carter for the remainder of the season.
He's not suspended for the
I'm not seeing where they've announced anything yet. So I don't know if you're trolling or if you got some bad information. You might have got tricked by one of those fake Adam Schefter accounts or something. But I don't think they've made any decisions on Jalen Carter. But he should. Obviously, this guy's a Eagles. So it looks.
Call for spitting.
You don't spit on somebody.
Right? I got jokes. I got jokes. You
do see where Dak spit in his direction first, but you can't go and get in his face and spit on somebody. So he's probably going to get suspended. I would say a game. I'll say 1 game. but who knows what's going to happen? But they haven't made any decision that I've seen.
Nothing's come out of that. NFL and soccer obviously are two different things. But we saw Luis Suarez of Miami, Inter Miami FC. He spit on a staffer of an opposing team after a game the other week, and I believe MLS just gave him 5 or 6 games. But that's a little bit of a different beast there. Also, he kind of has a history of some offlandish behavior on the pitch, but that's a different thing there. So,
look, this is also the defending Super Bowl champions, and it's their best defensive player. So he's not. I don't see him getting long-term suspension. Not that should matter, but it does.
Well, hopefully no one spits on anyone in Norman tomorrow night. There will be several very, very, very drunk students, those Oklahoma Roughnecks with those fake shotguns I'm talking about that they fired off. I saw they gave Pat McAfee one. I would not give Pat McAfee any sort of firearm, real or fake. That's just the recipe for disaster.
He got a little too close to the, somebody else shooting.
Yeah. Would not do that. Also, hopefully for Oklahoma's sake, that that Conestoga wagon doesn't turn over when that team takes the field. But we'll start off on this one in Norman, Oklahoma, hosting Michigan. What do you got here?
Oh yeah, you already mentioned Bryce Underwood's first road game in a pretty hostile environment. It's going to be a Saturday night. Oklahoma's got a great home field, even if they are kind of weird sometimes. Just that with them. I just think Oklahoma is a better team right now. But yeah, the Sharps are on Oklahoma. I'm riding with them on this one for good reason. Give me the 4. Well, don't give me the 4.5. I'm going to take Oklahoma to cover the 4.5 points here.
Okay, Oklahoma minus the 4.5 for Scotty. I'm on the opposite side on this one here. Listen, Michigan, last week they beat New Mexico 34-17. I don't think they were trying to show a lot last week against the Lobos. You can kind of tell they took the foot off the gas a little bit there. Not exactly locked in. They knew what was coming up this week. And you look at this Michigan schedule. If you get past Oklahoma, then you have Central Michigan. Then you have Nebraska in Lincoln, the Bussin' Bowl. Will Compton and Taylor Lewan will be there. But Nebraska didn't exactly look like world beaters when they played Cincinnati. Then you have Wisconsin, USC, Washington, Michigan State, Purdue, Northwestern, Maryland. You could make the case. Michigan gets past this game, you could be looking at an undefeated Michigan team if everything shakes down right, taking Ohio State on November the 29th. You could make the case there. I'm not saying it will, but you could make the case. This is a very big game for them. I like Michigan. I like their defense. I like Bryce Underwood. I think John Mateer is going to try to do a little too much. I think we saw a little bit of that last week where he tried to do a little too much for the Sooners. I give the coaching edge as well to Michigan. Sharon Moore I can't remember if this is one of the games he's suspended or not suspended. I forget. But
no, I think they just suspended him one game.
One game? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on Brent Venables as a head coach. Phenomenal defensive coordinator. I'm just not sold on him as a head coach. I don't think he can win consistently, especially in a place like Oklahoma. And I think this is going to be another Sooner letdown for him at home. Give me Michigan plus the 4.5 points going into Norman tomorrow, taking on Oklahoma.
So I think you can get it at 5.5. So it's 4.5 in most books. I think they took it off of FanDuel right now.
Ooh, line coming off of FanDuel. Is there some late things that we don't know about here?
I'm trying to find it.
Okay.
My search isn't working for some reason.
It's that cheap MindSpring internet service that you got going on down there. You got to change the hamster on the wheel.
Yeah, Comcast. That's the only thing I can get.
I am seeing at least of Action Network right now. I'm seeing it showing FanDuel at Michigan plus the 5.5. If I can get the 5.5,
yeah,
I will
5.5 on MGM too. So yeah, we'll give you 5.5.
Okay. Perfect, 5.5 there as well. So yeah, give me the blue plus the 5.5 there in Norman. I will put a little sprinkle on that as well for them to go ahead and take care of that outright. But all right, let's move on from this one here. And Scotty, let's hop on over to your picks here and start off with that. On your college banner, you had the Border War, Kansas and Missouri, 3:30 tomorrow, ESPN2. Are you familiar with like the hatred between these two states?
Not really. But I mean, I guess they have nothing else to do, so it doesn't surprise me.
Here's the American history with Leon Lesson. Remember the whole Missouri Compromise? Remember free state, slave states? Kansas free state, Missouri slave state back in the day, Civil War. You had these people in Kansas called Jayhawkers, named after the mythical bird, which is Kansas's mascot, which is where the university got the name. And those Jayhawkers were fighting the border ruffians from Missouri. So you had pro-Union bandits, pro-Confederate bandits having border skirmishes leading to the whole bleeding Kansas thing. The Missourians went into Lawrence, Kansas and burned the goddamn town. So, yeah, there's a lot of animosity here. They can't even decide on what the all-time series record is. There's a game in 1960 that's contested because I believe it was Kansas used an ineligible player allegedly. They don't like each other. They don't like each other not one bit. And it goes further back than schools. It literally goes back to the war between the states, the Civil War. They do not like each other. Bo Prabula, Missouri's quarterback, apparently did not know that. He was asked this week about the rivalry. He didn't know that. He did transfer from Penn State. Say what you will about Penn State academics. I don't know. But, yeah, I just want to set the stage there. They don't like each other. It should be a fun time in Como tomorrow afternoon.
Okay, maybe there are a lot of fire under the visiting team here. It's possible I have a blind spot on Missouri because I never know what the hell's going on with Missouri football. They're a team that's like will be ranked like number 10 all of a sudden. Like, where did that come from? I don't know anybody on their team. For just one of them teams that I, for whatever reason, never watch. But I'm going to watch this week because Kansas, I'm on the bandwagon. That's my team this year because Tech looks like they're doing the same Tech shit over the last decade. But yeah, I'm going to be riding with Kansas. Jalen Daniels, one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. If they keep winning, he could get some Heisman buzz. Probably won't win it, but he's just so good. He completed 90% of his passes last week against Fresno State, and he's a dual threat. He's healthy. It's just Missouri does not deserve to be this big of a favorite, even if they're at home. What's the number that I get? I'm taking Kansas plus 6.5. I think it's on FanDuel. 5.5 most other places, but yeah. 6.5 points. I think Kansas is going to win the game outright. So, yeah, I'm taking those points. Go Kansas.
I actually don't hate that. At all. It should be interesting one. I don't have a thought on this. Haven't dived super deep into this one, but I might sprinkle a little bit on that, Scotty. There.
Kansas is good, man. I told y'all week 0, I'm going to make a lot of money on Kansas this year. And, yeah.
Hey, I do like Lance Leipold, their head coach, a lot. And looking at their schedule, they win this. If they get this, then you have West Virginia, Cincinnati at home, at UCF. They could be undefeated rolling into Lubbock to take on Texas Tech, which we all know the expectations on the Red Raiders this year. That could be a massive game a few weeks down the road there. So something to think about here. All right, next up for you, you got UCLA going to Vegas, taking on UNLV, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, CBS Sports Network. Anthony Calandra, Alex Orji, if you combine those two, if they get like mate and have a child, that would actually be a decent quarterback. You got Orji's legs, Calandra's arm. It would actually be a halfway decent quarterback there. But, yeah, the fighting Dan Mullins 2-0 on the season right now. And Nico Iamaleava probably wants to run all the way back to Knoxville, Tennessee, because he was running for his life behind that UCLA offensive line last week. How do you have this one shaken down?
Yeah, you mentioned Nico. He kind of proved he's the same guy. He's terrible against really good defenses, which is what he went up against last week against Utah. Utah just destroyed them from start to finish. But UNLV, they're not a team with a good defense. Their defense is terrible, but they do have a really good offense. You mentioned Calandria and Orgy. Calandria is actually balling right now. As much as I hate to say it, but I think he's in the offense that he doesn't have to think too much and make too much happen. I think that's kind of what hurt him at UVA. Play will break down almost every play, and he's running for his life and making bad decisions. But from what I've seen so far, it's kind of first or second read and go, and he's good. But yeah, their offense has been really good. Their defense has been awful, and I think UCLA's defense is also pretty terrible. And I think Nico is going to look a lot better. Like I said, obviously, terrible defense. I think both teams are going to put up points. UNLV has been running the ball a lot, but they've also played two pretty bad teams. Sam Houston, I forget who the first week was. Was it FCS or?
Yes, it was. FCS, it was FCS. It was Idaho State. That's right. Idaho State gave them a fight there. The mighty Bengals from Pocatello, Idaho.
Yeah, I hit the over on that. I've actually bet on both of their games so far. Kind of a bad beat at the end on the over last week, but I'm surprised that this total is so low at 54.5. They're going over this, so give me the over 54.5.
Over 54.5. UCLA UNLV. All right. Moving over to my card here. Ole Miss, number 20 team in the land, the Rebels, heading to Lexington, taking on the Wildcats of Kentucky. 3:30 kick on ABC. Scotty, do you remember last year? Remember Ole Miss missed the college football playoff? What loss probably kept the Rebels out of the college football playoff?
Kentucky.
Yeah, it was that loss at home to Kentucky. Inexplicable loss, but Lane Kiffin teams always seem to have one of those at home to Kentucky. I think Lane is going to open the can. I think Lane is going to exercise some demons. Zach Calzada is not a good quarterback. We've seen him in a couple different destinations. Now he's in Lexington for the Wildcats. Mark Stoops had that program going in the right direction for a little bit. The wheels are coming off the wagon right now for Kentucky. The talent is too great in Oxford right now. They're going to roll in there, and they're going to open the can, and they're going to exercise some demons. Give me Ole Miss, and give me Ole Miss big. Looking at the lines on this, most places have it about 9. I have seen 9.5. But give me the 8.5 points that I can get right now on ESPN Bet and on FanDuel Sportsbook. I'll put it in on one of those. But, yeah, give me Ole Miss minus the 8.5. To quote, remember the Titans, run it up, Herman. Leave no doubt. That's what the Rebs are going to do tomorrow. You're going to hear a lot of hotty toddy in Lexington.
Yeah, I might ride with you on this one. It was at 10.5, and that's one of those lines where you look at it and you're like, oh, Kentucky's going to keep it close because they always do. But then it almost seemed a little too easy. And yeah, you mentioned the loss last year, revenge, Lane Kiffin running up the score. Yeah, well, I think Ole Miss might just be too good here. So I'll probably end up betting that too.
Well, I know one game that you won't be betting, and that's my next one here. South Dakota State at Montana State. You know me, call me king of the FCS. I love me some FCS football. Sadly, I will actually, no, I probably will be able to watch this one. I will be in attendance tomorrow for my North Carolina State Wolfpack taking on Virginia, but I'm sure I'll find a bar in Raleigh somewhere where I can convince them to put on.
They're not going to be playing this.
Hey, if I find the right bar and if I lay the right amount of money in the bartender's hand, we might be able to get this on ESPN Plus.
You might be able to cast to one of their TVs.
But huge matchup so far in FCS. You got the Jackrabbits, number 2 team in the land, going to Montana State, number 3 team in the land here. Probably the biggest non-conference matchup of the season going on there in Bozeman. South Dakota State's defense looked great last week. They got that go-go offense for Sacramento State. They held them to 136 yards. That go-go ran out of juice there last week. Great linebacking core. Cullen McShane, Chase Van Tol. They were making play after play after play for them. They also have a Fordham transfer at running back. I'm going to pronounce the last name wrong. Probably is Julius Lawfridge. He's a player to watch for South Dakota State. His debut for the Jackrabbits, he went for 159 yards on the ground, on averaging 7.2 yards a pop. Key for South Dakota State in this one, they're just not going to be able to let Montana State control the pace of the game. They're going to have to ride Loffridge, make him a factor in this one. The two quarterbacks both showed pretty good last week. Justin Lamson, he had 74%, I want to say, of his passes completed for 198 yards against Oregon. That was for Montana State last week. Now, obviously, they got the crap kicked out of them, but let's face it, you have a very good FCS team and a very good FBS team, and an FBS team that's going to be in the playoff, and an FBS team that's going to make a run for the college football playoff national championship. So I don't think you can really take a lot from what you saw if you did see it from Montana State last week. But I will say, this is an interesting game. It's big for Montana State because you don't want to start off 0-2 on the season. Not necessarily going to hurt you in terms of making the playoffs, because one of those losses was to Oregon, but seeding is so important in FCS, and so much of those runs that Montana State has made or South Dakota State has made over the years is getting that home field advantage, getting those teams to come up north and play in those bad weather conditions. So they are going to be scratching and clawing and fighting with everything they got on this one here. Line on this one on FanDuel is the only place that has it out right now that I saw, and I had it up right before my picks, and then I accidentally closed it out because that's what kind of guy I am, Scotty. So mind me while I pad here to pull that back up to get my exact side on this again. I do apologize. This is riveting.
This game isn't available everywhere.
That's the one thing that drives me nuts too, is the fact that you have to wait for the FCS games to come out. Here we go on FanDuel right now. South Dakota State 3.5-point favorite, and the over under is 48.5 right now on FanDuel. I was riding with the Jackrabbits. I just wanted to see what that number was. If it did go up a little bit, I may have been tempted to take the other side because I do think this is going to be a very close game. But give me South Dakota State to go into Bozeman to get that win over a very good Montana State team. They're going to give them all they got, but I think South Dakota State will just have a little too much tomorrow. So give me South Dakota State minus 3.5 points.
Yeah, I got absolutely nothing on this, so I'll just disagree with you. Take the points.
Hey, man, FCS fever. Catch it, baby. I love it. I love it. It's the fun.
I like it when there's nothing else on.
Yeah. All right, and then Chris, we'll get his picks tomorrow, but on his card, he had FIU and Penn State. I imagine he's probably going to take Penn State and the over, because James Franklin always likes to try to hit the over. And then we know where he's going on this, Iowa State. Yeah, whatever the under is on that.
I'm probably betting Iowa State. Last time I looked, it was 3.5. I haven't looked in a while, though. Everybody expects it to be like a 3-point game or whatever, take the points, but I don't know. I think Iowa State's gonna put it on them.
By the way,
or at least cover.
God bless you, Iowa and Iowa State. I appreciate schools like this that play their rivalry game early, like the Holy War. I think it's coming up soon between BYU and Utah. Like let's get some of that hate early in the season. Don't just save it for Thanksgiving weekend, even though I love it, Thanksgiving weekend, rivalry week. But let's spread the hate out a little bit, Let's spread it out.
Well, yeah, when both teams are still playing for something.
Yeah, it's always nice. So we'll get Chris's picks on that tomorrow. So, all right. Now moving over to the National Football League here. Scotty, I'll let you go first here. You got a little NFC West battle going on here with the 49ers heading to Seattle, taking on the Seahawks, 4:05 Sunday on Fox.
Yeah, it looks like I picked all divisional games on this slate. And there is going to be a theme to my picks. But, Seattle coming in as home dogs on this. And it seems like everybody just assumes that the 49ers are going to bounce back this year. And I don't really see it, especially – I know they have, I think, the worst schedule or the easiest schedule in the league. So that's probably why a lot of people were betting over on their win total. But I just don't see them being this great team. We've already seen McCaffrey already has a calf injury.
Is it a day that ends in Y? Christian McCaffrey's calf hurts.
Yeah. and now he's trying to downplay it, which kind of makes it seem like it might be more serious than they're saying. I don't know. We're gonna have to see on that. But Ayuk is gonna be out for a little bit. Just seems like it was last year. Debo's gone, so I don't know what they're gonna look like, but I'm not just gonna say, oh, they're the 49ers. They just had a bad year. They're coming back. Yeah, I'm taking Seattle with the 1.5 points here. I'm gonna bet money line, but for the sake of the podcast, I'll take the 1.5. I don't love Darnold, but they're going to be in Seattle. That's a tough place to go in and get a win, regardless. They're going to have a good defense, a good run game. Darnold just has to not screw it up like he did in Minnesota last year.
Hey, Scotty, I can get you a 2.5 on this on BetMGM. Seattle plus 2.5 and minus 110.
Let me check that, because are you looking at Action Network?
I have Action Network up right now. I just hit refresh on that.
I saw that about an hour ago, and I was like, let me see, because that doesn't seem right. And it was down to 1 on MGM. So I think maybe that's not getting updated. But yeah, at Seattle, 12th man run game. I don't know what San Francisco is going to look like. Their best receiver is Ricky Pearsall right now. Well, Jawan Jennings is playing, so that's a plus. But yeah, that's incorrect. It's just 1.
Okay.
So
damn you, Action Network. You fake news. Action Network is fake news, ladies and gentlemen.
Whenever you see an outlier like that, I always go and check it, because every now and then something doesn't update. But yeah.
Yeah, down the 1 on there. So you're taking the 1.5 with the Seahawks.
Yes.
Perfect. Yep. All right, going with the Seahawks 1.5. Cooper Kupp's Seattle Seahawks. I wonder how that jersey's selling. All right. Next up, we got Detroit rolling into Lambeau, taking on the Packers. 4:25 on CBS, America's most watched network.
Yeah. So I had another game. I said there was a theme, but this game actually, I'm not picking a side, because I had another game in my head and I switched it out for this one. But basically, I'm fading the public on this one. They're heavily on the over, and I see why. But I'm taking the under 47.5. It just seems like a lot of points. We all know historically the golf and outdoors. Last year, he actually kind of bucked that trend, played pretty well outdoors, but still, I think no Ben Johnson first game. I think you're going to see a lot of running with Gibbs and Montgomery from Dan Campbell here with the Lions. So I think they're going to be trying to chew clock, and yeah, just tough division game, week 1. I see this kind of being more of a grinder. We both picked the Packers to win the division, but I can also see them kind of coming out. Jordan Love hasn't been healthy in a while. He's finally healthy. Yeah. Jaden Reed I don't know if he's playing. If he is, he's banged up. So, and then you got Matthew Golden, rookie receiver. So they've got some kinks to work out. Parsons may or may not play. Everybody expects this to be a high-scoring game, and it could be, but I actually think it's going to go under the 47.5.
You are going to hate me because I actually did put that in earlier to today, and I actually went lower than you. I put that in at, I believe it was under 47. I got it on Bet365 earlier in the day for all those reasons. Usually, in my mind, when everyone says high scoring game, instinctually I go the other way. Usually, 2 offenses that can put up numbers, and usually never works out. And division games, these teams know each other so well. It's just. Yeah, and I get Detroit has 2 new coordinators. I get all that, but still, at its core, these teams know each other so well. It's hard for me to see over here. I went under 47 on BetMG, on Bet365 earlier. So
is that one of your bets?
No, it's not one of my bets. I just actually put that in earlier. I'm making my charitable contributions to Virginia's tax fund. Just what was the Virginia lottery goes to the kids, like school, right? What does betting in Virginia go to? What does that revenue go to? I got some potholes out here.
I don't even know. I feel like that's been overlooked. I don't know.
I love that it's like all this money goes to the schools, and then like, okay, well, just spend more money then or whatever. I don't know. I'm not a politician.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
not do this.
Let's not do this. Let's not do this. Minnesota going into Chicago, taking on the Bears. 8:15 Monday night, ABC and ESPN. JJ McCarthy gets the keys to the engine there at Soldier Field.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with this pick. Another home dog in a division game. Historically, home dogs in division games cover at like a very high rate. That's part of the reason why I'm doing this. But yeah, you mentioned JJ McCarthy. I know Kevin O'Connell is supposed to be like a quarterback whisperer. We saw it last year with Darnold, but I got to see it from McCarthy first. We still don't know if he can throw the ball in like offense because he didn't do it much at Michigan. He's the prototypical looks like a QB, so he must be like Daniel Jones and Mitch Trubisky.
I got
So
one
that
for you.
worked out.
Christian Hackenberg.
Yeah. So I don't know. It doesn't mean he can't be good, especially in this offensive system, but I don't trust him. I can't bet on him yet. And Chicago is improved. They improved the offensive line. They got a solid defense, good receiving core. At Chicago, Monday night, opening week, it's gonna be nuts there. Not the best environment for JJ McCarthy to have his first start on the road like this. I think the Bears are going to win this game and obviously cover the 1.5.
Interesting. Okay. I don't know what to make of this game. I'm not touching a spread. I'm not touching the total. I'm not touching anything on this. I am going to look at props on this. I haven't done it yet, but one thing I'm intrigued to look at is TJ Hawkinson, young quarterback. What's their best friend? A good tight end. That's TJ Hawkinson. Also, Adam Thielen coming back to Minnesota. Just worked out that trade recently, coming over from Carolina. And you have Jordan Addison suspended right now. You got to figure Thielen's probably going to be that number 2 option. I know they have Jalen Naylor as well, but Justin Jefferson always is going to garner a lot of attention. You also have a guy like Aaron Jones that can catch balls out of the backfield, and you have TJ Hawkinson. Maybe people think Adam Thielen's washed. Maybe he becomes that guy snagging a few balls. I might look at some props on him with his totals. Haven't done that yet, but that's where my mind is going. But I'm not touching the total. I'm not touching the side on this game.
Yeah, kind of like the I don't know, kind of like the over if I had to bet a total.
All right, moving over to my games here. Carolina and Jacksonville.
Yuck.
The last time David Tepper made the trip to Jax, I believe he threw a drink on the fan and got fined like $300,000 or whatever. So hopefully for his sake, it doesn't repeat that. Obviously, they're doing a lot of renovations and everything in Jacksonville. New stadium experience coming there soon. There's a lot of hope with Jacksonville. You got Travis Hunter. I believe he's like number 2 on the chart at DB, but he's a starting wide receiver. I do like Tank Bigsby and Travis Etienne. I like that combo. A big year for Trevor Lawrence. I think it's really a proven year. Can he be the guy that everyone thought he would be? Can he lead them back to the playoffs again? I think the AFC South is a pretty open division most years, and this year is no different. But then you look on the other side, you look how Carolina finished the season last year. You saw Bryce Young get better as things went on. I do like Chuba Hubbard a lot and what they're doing there. I mean, you lose Adam Thielen, who was a good safety valve for him, a veteran receiver. But then you bring in Hunter Renfrow, who apparently is not washed. He got cut. Then they signed him back. His daughter apparently made him miss like 13 phone calls or something like that from the Panthers trying to bring him back. This Carolina team, I think, could give some people fits this year coming up. So I think I'm not saying they're going to be a playoff team, but I think this Carolina team is going to flirt with the playoffs. And this is the kind of game when you look at it. I think the total on this one is 46.5 in most places. I was flirting with the under on this one. I just don't see either offense really putting up a lot of big numbers on this one. But Carolina in most places right now is a 3.5 point dog. I think Jacksonville wins. And I feel like it comes down to like a late Cam Little field goal. But I'm going to take Carolina plus the 3.5. What's going to be you say gross earlier. I think this is going to be one of the better games of the weekend. I think these are 2 pretty evenly matched teams. And I think we're going to find out a lot about both of these teams and where their seasons are going to go when this one is said and done. So give me Carolina plus the 3.5 in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I have nothing on this game. I'll probably find a prop to play. But if I can get a 70-yard field goal from Cam Little and a couple touchdowns from Ted McMillan, I need that in our fantasy league. But yeah, I don't know. Is Carolina good, or was that just like a fluke at the end of the year last year? And then Jacksonville has been that team for the last 4 years because they had that one good year, and they've been that up and coming team for the last 3 or 4 years, and it's never happened. So yeah, I don't know what to make of this one, but totally agree with you on Trevor Lawrence. This is a year that's gonna make or break him to steal your term. But yeah, if he doesn't have a good year, he won't be in Jacksonville next year. He'll be a backup somewhere.
He'll be added to the list of Cleveland Browns quarterbacks on that shirt in like a couple of years.
It wouldn't surprise me at all. Or in Miami or something. That's where he'll be, in Miami, I bet. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's an NFL game, so I'm going to tune in and watch a little bit of it. But yeah, I don't really have a side or a total on this.
It's a hard one to it's a hard one to pick on this one. I really feel like these two teams are very evenly matched. That's why I feel it's going to be a really good game. I actually am really looking forward to this in a very sick way on Sunday. Another game that's very sick if you're watching, Miami and Indianapolis. Dolphins going to Naptown to take on the Colts, 1 o'clock there on CBS. Most places right now I am seeing Miami is a dog by 1.5. Doesn't make sense to me. I look at this Indianapolis team and who's going to hurt you outside of Jonathan Taylor? Obviously, Tyler Warren, the tight end, local guy. We're from, this show's based out of Richmond. He's a local kid, played at Atlee High School, went to Penn State, showed out. He's a rookie. But I don't know. I just don't see a lot of offensive talent. And by the way, Daniel Jones has pulled the trigger for the Colts there. He beat out Anthony Richardson. I just want to point this out. Your two quarterbacks are Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson. I know, if you breathe on Tua, he gets a concussion. But if you give me Tua, Achane has been cleared. He's ready to go. You give me Tua, you give me Tyreek, you give me Jalen Waddle. I'm taking the Dolphins 9 times out of 10 against the Colts. And by the way, that speed that Miami has, we're playing this indoors on turf. Give me the Dolphins plus the 1.5. I'm befuddled why this total is so close. I would push this to 4 or 5 points.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you on that. Other than I think the Colts actually they have Michael Pittman and Josh Downs and Tyler Warren. That's not terrible. They just never had a quarterback to get them the ball. You saw when Flacco was there, they put up the receivers, at least put up some numbers. But yeah, Daniel Jones he was good for that 1 year that the Giants went to the playoffs and won a game. But he's just not that guy anymore. Not that he ever was that guy. He just had that one good year. But yeah, Daniel Jones sucks. And I think maybe this number is because Miami. I mean, I talked about it when we were doing our division picks. Just bad vibes in Miami, and Tua's going to end up getting hurt. But Tua's playing, so that offense is going to put up some points. I think Miami wins. I might bet the over on this. Or I might take Miami. I don't know. But I agree with you. I think Miami should not be the underdog here.
I tell you what, though, if the Dolphins were to somehow, some way lose this game, and you mentioned the bad vibes there, things could go real south real quick for them. You got to have Mike McDaniel. It's like one of your first guys that could be fired. I mean, and also if he does lose this game, I'm just saying, Mike McDaniel, we don't have a sponsorship from BetterHelp or anything like that, but your comments in the preseason gave me some concern that we're one more day closer to death. You might want to.
That's what I was about to bring up
about that. Yeah. So
he's very quirky. He's a funny guy. He'd probably be fun to have on the podcast if we had to pick a coach, he'd be probably one of my top 5 picks. But also, when you're winning, that's awesome. Look at our coach. He's different. He's quirky. He doesn't take it so serious. But when you start losing, they're going to start calling him some expletives and yeah, they're going to want him out of there. They're going to be calling him a weirdo and you're not taking it serious enough. Yeah, it just depends on if you're winning or losing. So yeah, if they lose this game, he might be the first coach fired this year.
Yeah, it sets the tone for a rough year. And speaking of setting the tone rough, Cam Ward, number 1 pick in the draft, leading his Tennessee Titans into the Mile High City, taking on the Broncos, 4:05 p.m. on Fox. It doesn't get much tougher for a rookie quarterback than having to make your first start in the National Football League at elevation, mind you, in Denver, taking on the Broncos, one of the best defenses in the NFL, and Vance Joseph, who, in my opinion, is one of the better defensive coordinators in this game. They're going to have a field day with him. The coverages, the blitzes. Cam Ward's going to be very good, and I think he's going to be very good for a while in this league. But I don't think but you're a rookie. It's the first game. You don't know what you don't know yet. And you look at this Denver team and this defense and what they can do. Patrick Surtain's going to be all over the place. It ain't going to be pretty. Most places right now, I'm seeing the line on this one. I just had it in front of me. Let me go back to it.
I thought it was 8.5.
Yeah, it was 8.5. I thought I could get it somewhere else here, and I accidentally closed my window. See, this is why we need someone to do this for me, Scotty. I need.
It's fine. This is a podcast. It's not
I need people to do these for me though.
We're not on TV.
I need to be. I almost said
they're always changing though, so it's never.
Yeah, I need to be serviced. Is what I was going to say, but that was going to be very R. Kelly of me. So didn't want to put that out there. Yeah, 8.5 in most places. Yeah, give me Denver. Thought I saw an 8 out there. Actually, no, I do have an 8 that's out here. So give me the Broncos minus the 8 points. I'm seeing this right now on Fanatics. So give me Denver plus the 8. I'm not going to say what I said. Yeah, I'm not going to say what I said Thursday night and be like, oh, give me Philadelphia. You can run it up to 14 because we saw what happened there. So yeah, just give me Denver minus the 8.
Somebody bet against Philadelphia on this podcast.
Yeah.
And I kind of got the same vibes here. Everything you said is valid, but you have these games week 1. This is probably going to be the most popular survivor pick, the Broncos.
Yeah.
And those picks sometimes just seem to not work. I'm not going to sit here and say the Titans are going to win, but I think they might give the Broncos a scare. I really like Cam Ward. I think the Titans last year lost a lot of close games because of Will Levis just doing dumb shit. He just had 1 or 2 plays where literally would turn the game because he would put the ball on the ground or just do something really dumb. I don't think Cam Ward is going to do that. And I think the public is heavily on the Broncos too. So I kind of like the Titans to make it closer than people think. But Denver wins. I don't know if I'm going to bet it. I might. But yeah, if I had to pick, I think Titans plus the 8.5. But I'm not betting that. Not yet.
All right. So that does it for my picks here. And then Chris, let's say we'll get his tomorrow or Sunday, whatever it is. Maybe he wakes up by Sunday.
Yeah, maybe.
On his card, he's got the little NFC South showdown there between Tampa and Atlanta. I'm not sure
he's taking the Falcons.
Where he's going. I feel like he was.
I think he picked them to win the division, right?
Yeah, I think he did. He's a big Kyle. He's a big Kyle Pitts guy. So,
yeah.
And then
I baited him into take because he had a couple too many drinks at the draft, and I just kept saying Kyle Pitts names, and he actually drafted him.
Spoke it into existence. And then we got a battle of 2 of the shittier cities in the NFL, Cleveland and Cincinnati. No love lost there between these 2.
He's taking Cleveland. He picked them to finish second in the division.
He did.
He's taking Cleveland.
Jesus.
He has some kind of love affair, which Cincinnati seems a little too easy. I think it's at 5.5. So I mean, not the worst pick to pick Cleveland and go the other way, but he's got blinders on with the Browns, so he's taking them.
Listen, the only defense worse than Cleveland's is the French and their Maginot line in World War II. But then also when I saw that video of what was that lady? She was like some sort of offensive stats analyst or something for the Browns talking the other day and their data points with quarterbacks. And she was like speaking SQL when talking to the media about evaluating quarterbacks. That doesn't give me a lot of hope for things in Cleveland either. So, yeah.
Yeah, and Flacco washed. He's not going to be good anymore.
Yeah. And then also he has Arizona at New Orleans on his card. Is there a new Call of Duty out, or is it about to come out?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
Okay,
I almost put this on my card though.
So we get good Kyler Murray then. No Call of Duty. Good Kyler Murray taking on who's the starter for New Orleans? Spencer Rattler. Won the much debated battle between him and Tyler Shaw. That's a fun quarterback battle.
Yeah, I don't know. Does Kellen Moore have something up his sleeve we don't know about? This hasn't moved to a touchdown yet, or not to 7 yet. Well, not that I saw last time. I looked, it was 6.5. Yeah. I don't know. I'm probably going to bet Arizona, but it feels a little trappy. But I guess when you're playing the worst team in the league and it's under a touchdown, it's always going to feel trappy. But I think Arizona wins by double digits, or at least a touchdown.
I'm with you on this one as well. So all the more reason we'll see tomorrow or Sunday, but I'm sure Chris will probably go the opposite way on this one here. All right.
I think he hates the Saints, so I think he's probably going Cardinals. I don't know. Who knows?
What's he got? Some long-standing beef going back to Ironhead Haywood or something?
Well, I think last year was more the coach, but he's gone. So
okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe he hated who's it? Steve Walsh. Was that the quarterback that was in New Orleans? It was in Dallas for a little bit in the early 90s. Or maybe he just hates Bobby Hebert or Billy Joe Tolliver. I'm just going to name shitty 90s quarterbacks for a while. Aaron Brooks. No, he loves Aaron Brooks.
Yeah, he probably loves Aaron Brooks.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a look here. Get into our underdog parlay.
Aaron Brooks, real quick. One of the only quarterbacks that was so bad in the NFL that a rapper dissed him in a lyric.
Nice.
Lil Wayne said you can't pass like Aaron Brooks.
Damn. Well, it's time for our underdog parlay. We'll give you one of these each week here. This week we're using FanDuel Sportsbook here. This is our buddy Action. Action is very, very hungry. So we need to hit these parlays each week so we can feed Action. And you need to watch the show and like and subscribe as well so we can feed Action here. He's very hungry. Let's get these dogs. Scotty, I believe you are up first here.
And Duke. First of all, we don't need to hit these every week because that's impossible. But you need to hit 2 for the year to make a profit. Last year we actually hit 2, but the second one, it was during the holidays and we never posted it. So technically we hit 1. It was either Thanksgiving or Christmas, I forget. But we actually hit 1. Forgot to post it. But yeah, I'm going with Duke at home against Illinois. I guess I'm sticking with my home dog theme here. Illinois is a team that overachieved last year, so I think people are a little too high on them. Darian Mensah, the quarterback for Duke, is from Tulane last year. He's really good. I think they got the better quarterback. This will probably be another grinder. So give me Duke at home with the better quarterback to take out Illinois.
Okay, going with the Duke Blue Devils there. Again, they'll be a few miles down the road from where I'll be tomorrow over there at Wallace Wade Stadium. By the way, Duke, I'm seeing a lot of trendy picks on Duke is putting Illinois on upset alert this week here. So I don't hate that for you. Next up, do you know what school this is, Scotty?
No, this seems like an obscure like TV channel that only plays like TV shows from the 60s.
No, sir.
It plays Golden Girls on a loop.
This, God, I can actually see that. This is UTRGV. What does that stand for? The University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. The Vaqueros in the FCS, playing their second ever game as a program. Okay, this came when UT Pan American and UT Brownsville merged in like 2015 or so, and then they made UTRGV. The Vaqueros played their first ever game last week. It was a 66 to nothing blowout at home over whatever a Soul Russ State is. It doesn't matter. Okay, they have a very good head coach that's been at that program for a couple of years, building things. He's helped to build programs before, back when UTSA was launching their football program as well. He knows what he's doing there, trying to build things out. That is Travis Bush, Texas high school football. He's got all that background. He's coached there. He's done that. They got a lot of transfers from a lot of Texas programs. They didn't just have Tom, Dick, and Sally come off the street and join the program. They got a lot of guys that have moved down from FBS and other Texas programs around there. They got a good fan base. They got good support, and they're well funded as well. And now they're going to Prairie View A&M, who's, I'm sorry, they're a bad SWAC team. They're in the SWAC, so that tells you all you need to know right there. But they're a bad SWAC team as well. I know they were sub 500 last year. It ain't going to be close. I don't even know. There's no line out on this right now. It ain't going to be close. In their second game ever, UTRGV is going to run roughshod. Ride with me. I am your FCS guy. I gave you Georgetown as a dog last week on the road at Davidson. They won 51-10, 51-17, whatever it was. Ride with me in the football championship subdivision, the fun championship subdivision, as I call it. Give me the Vaqueros, UTRGV. All right.
Yeah, sure.
What I almost went, before we go to Chris's pick, what I almost went was Mississippi State at home against Arizona State. I believe it was 30-23 or something like that. Mississippi State came back, lost last year in the desert. Obviously, Arizona State doesn't have Cam Scatterbo. They still have Levitt and they still have Tyson. They're very talented. They practice in front of like 3 people ringing cowbells this week. Not exactly the environment you're going to face when there's 60,000 at Davis Wade Stadium at Scott Field ringing those insufferable cowbells. I really like Blake Shapen. I think Mississippi State's going to be a much improved team. They're toward the bottom of the SEC with Kentucky, but I think they're going to give people a lot more fits than they did last year. And I think that's an environment going down south, hot, humid weather, loud environment, cowbells, all this pressure and expectations on Arizona State. I think that's a game they could drop. I had it on here. I took it off. I had it on. I took it off literally 3 or 4 times. I'm going with UTRGV, but I am going to sprinkle some money on Mississippi State as well. All right. And then Chris on his card, he's got the Fighting Dan Mullins, the Running Rebels of UNLV, plus 100 at home, taking on UCLA. You had this game on your card. Where were you on this?
The over. But I don't hate the small underdog pick here. Like UCLA got blown out last week. I could see them maybe bouncing back. It's at UNLV, but there will probably be just as many UCLA fans there.
Will it though? I don't think anyone cares about UCLA football.
Nobody cares about UNLV. That's for damn sure. I watched. I think it might have been week 0, and there was nobody in the stands. It was sad.
Troy Aikman and Cade McNown and who was the guy that was a running back with the Redskins, went to UCLA, Deshaun Foster, aren't walking through that door anytime soon. Okay.
Wait, isn't he the coach? Who's the coach for UCLA?
Oh, yeah, it is Deshaun Foster.
Deshaun Foster.
Yeah, that's right. It is Deshaun Foster.
He is walking through that door.
He is. He literally is. And remember at Big Ten Media Day, he inspired confidence last year, telling everyone repeatedly that they're from Los Angeles. So
there is something to, like, UCLA played a real team and UNLV hasn't yet, but also UCLA got their ass kicked. They got beat up last week. So I don't know. I'm actually looking forward to that one.
That'll be an interesting one. I mean, let's face it. I feel like Dan Mullen is the perfect kind of guy for that UNLV program, and to get things back on track there. So we'll see what happens. You put these three together, put them in the FanDuel Sportsbook right now. You get 1021 of your odds there, Scotty. If you take a fresh, crisp $100 bill out of Chris's wallet while he's sleeping, and you go to the FanDuel Sportsbook and you play that, how much will that pay you when that hits?
That will pay you $1,021 plus your 100.
Nice. Oh, you actually wouldn't make anything because Chris doesn't have $100 bill. I don't think he's ever had $100 bill. But if he did,
maybe he's out there making one right now. That's why he's not here.
Literally making one in a print shop somewhere. But yes, our underdog parlay, our hungry dog, we got to feed action. Look at action. Each week that we don't hit this, Scotty, he's going to get a little hungrier and maybe a little cuter. We need to feed this little guy. So Duke, UT, RGV, and UNLV.
You're going to make me go buy a lab and name it Action.
Either that or we're going to lose this parlay so many weeks in a row that the ASPCA or PETA or something is going to like just decree us from like, just stop. This is abuse. Yeah.
That's the thing there. We can keep losing these long shots. It just takes one to win and you're pretty much even or close to it.
By the way,
you're in the money.
I just looked at this. By the way, Duke, obviously basketball, it's an institution. UNLV in the early 90s had their run, with the Running Rebels and Larry Johnson and all that stuff. UTRGV, one of these things is not like the other.
They weren't good at basketball in the 90s?
No, I don't think UT Pan American, because that's where they took most of their athletic history from, not from UT Brownsville. I don't think UT Pan American was very good. In fact, I know UT Pan American because when I worked at the University of Virginia, we would play UT Pan American quite often in early season basketball games. Them and the Ryder Bronx were always good for an early season W there. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we had that going for them. So yeah, UTRGV. You just learned something. A, you learned that school exists. B, you learned that they play football, and then C, you learned that they're going to kick the shit out of Prairie View A&M tomorrow.
Yeah, that number looks like they're probably 3.5 point dogs if they ever put a line out on it.
FanDuel has a line out right now on that. Let me go back to it.
You said they didn't have a spread, only money line.
No, I said they had that.
No.
ETRGV. Why can't I get that? My phone is being ridiculous right now. Pad for me a little bit here, Scotty. I do apologize.
Well, yeah, they wait to put the FCS lines out. A lot of books don't even do it because there's going to be some FCS sharps out there that are going to beat them in the head if they put it out too early.
Here we go. FanDuel has UTRGV is a 5.5 point dog at Prairie View A&M. Okay. What disrespect for the Vaqueros? We will ride tomorrow at what time is this? I just saw it and it just went away. I don't know. I forget. I can't find.
They're probably playing right now.
7:01 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Okay, and I can't find a TV listing for this game, but I will be drunk in some bar in the Oak City. I will be drunk and streaming this on my phone and screaming at people about the Vaqueros. So.
Yeah, they're not going to know what you're saying.
Yeah. All right. So that'll do it. We'll get this show. If you missed it, be a friend, tell a friend. Well, if you missed it, you missed it. But if you watched it, be a friend and tell a friend. We'll put this up for our normal time tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We'll be back here on Wednesday nights at 7:30 as we usually do in our normal spot for the Let's Not Do This podcast, where we'll get more bad bets and we'll talk a little sports news and weird news and all kinds of shit.
Not for me. 11-5, baby.
Nah. Oh yeah, we got to get you to tally up the results before Wednesday.
I already got them. I could tell you.
You got them pulled
so
up?
far with the games. Oh, I'm 10-4. Where did I get that number from?
You're 10-4. Okay. What am I?
Chris. Oh no. Total. I'm 11-5. Chris is 8-8. Leon, you're 6-10.
6-10, but that's okay.
You gained a game on us tonight.
I gained a game tonight.
No. Only on NFL. No, you didn't, because we both went 1-1.
That's okay. I hit the FCS pick. I'm 1-0 on FCS picks. Okay. follow me. I'm leading you into the Valley of Hell, which is FCS football. I got 2 for you this week. South Dakota State minus the points, and give me UTRGV money line. I'm your FCS guy.
Sure. Sounds like a Aretha Franklin song, but okay.
All right. Also, make sure to check out Getting Loose podcast. I have not done one of those podcasts in forever, but I put up the picks. We've done really well with that with NASCAR and F1. So make sure to follow that. NASCAR playoffs, of course, in full swing. Make you some money there. And I got a good surprise long shot winner this week that I'm cooking up something on. So we'll put that out there. But all right. Scotty, I will see you Wednesday unless I am in a jail somewhere in Wake County, North Carolina after tomorrow.
Yeah, man, we did an hour 10.
Yeah, there we go. And Chris has been sleeping the whole time, so it's beautiful.
Yeah, he's probably watching this.
Probably is. No. All right. Well, and to our viewers in Kazakhstan, thank you very much. We love you.
Uzbekistan.
Go Borat. Oh yeah, Uzbekistan as well. All the stands except for Turkmenistan. We don't like you. But all right. Aloha means goodbye. We'll see you.